Hey, come here. I'm going to tell you a secret. In fact, I'm going to share 5 secret GarageBand for Mac techniques that you've definitely never heard of before. GarageBand's master reverb and echo controls might seem a little bit too basic for frequent use, but did you know you can actually change the parameters and overall sound of these effects? Okay, so to get to GarageBand's reverb and echo sliders, select a track and open Smart Controls. You can see the sliders here beneath the plugins section. So if I set this track off and add some reverb to it, you can hear the default reverb effect being added to it. I can change the sound of this reverb effect by hitting the edit button beneath the sliders. This window allows you to adjust settings for both the master reverb and master echo effects that are controlled by the reverb and echo sliders in a track's Smart Controls window. I can select from 10 different reverb presets here, from subtler effects like ambience, to more pronounced reverb sounds like reflective room. Keep in mind that these master effects are global across all of your tracks, so adjusting the reverb effect on one track will change it on all of your tracks. The method is exactly the same for the Echo Master effect, though you have many more presets to choose from here. GarageBand's Cycle region allows you to select a section of your project that will repeat, allowing you to record multiple takes of a real audio instrument. Try to do the same thing with a software instrument though, and instead of recording multiple takes, your new recording will merge with the existing recording every time that playhead jumps back to the start of the cycle region. If you'd rather have your software instrument track behave the same way as an audio track with the cycle region, open GarageBand's Preferences menu, click on the General tab, and where it says Software Instrument Recordings, click on the Cycle On drop-down menu and change it from Merge to Create Takes. Now when you set up a cycle region to record a software instrument, instead of subsequent playhead passes causing what you play to merge with previous recordings, you'll record individual takes that you'll be able to choose from as normal. If you don't want to record yourself playing in a software instrument track either via an external USB keyboard or GarageBand's built-in musical typing feature, you can actually manually add notes using the piano roll and GarageBand's pencil tool. With your software instrument track selected, click on the scissors icon in the top left of the screen to open the editor window. Now if you hover your cursor over the piano roll and hold the Command key on your typing keyboard, you'll see the pointer change into the pencil tool. Now if you click anywhere in the piano roll, a MIDI note will be created. Note that unlike the pencil tool in Logic, you need to keep holding down on the Command key while you do this. You can adjust created notes as usual, lengthening or changing what notes they trigger by releasing the Command key and interacting with them using the pointer. This video is sponsored by me, kinda. If you want your GarageBand for Mac projects to sound better but don't really know where to start, I've got just the thing for you. This is the GarageBand Production Bundle. It's everything I wish I knew when I started using GarageBand. Over the course of 3 downloadable ebooks, I share with you everything you need to record, mix, and master your GarageBand projects to a professional level. What's more, lovely GarageBand Guide YouTube viewer, you can get 15% off the GarageBand Production Bundle by entering the code thumblove at checkout. Speaking of thumblove, if you're enjoying this video and finding it helpful, then go ahead and show me some down below.
I can be your hero, baby.
Musical typing is a quick and convenient way to bash out some melodies from GarageBand's amazing software instrument library using your Mac's typing keyboard. But did you know that you can assign loops and sounds to its keys as well? With GarageBand for Mac open, you'll want to open a new software instrument track. To bring up musical typing, either select Show Musical Typing from the window menu in your toolbar, or use the keyboard shortcut Command and K. Next, open the library pane by clicking the library button in the top left, selecting Show Library from the View tab in the toolbar, or hitting the shortcut key Y. Now, from the library menu, navigate to Legacy, then GarageBand, then Sound Effects, and pick any of the options. I'll go for applause and laughter. If you don't have the Legacy option in the library pane in your version of GarageBand, open the GarageBand menu in the toolbar, hover over Sound Library, and click on Download All Available Sounds. This can be a pretty sizable download depending on how much of this stuff you have downloaded already, so be aware you might have to wait a while. On the musical typing keys, you'll notice these wee icons have appeared. If I expand this detail menu, there's a list of what sound effect loops are attached to each key. If I adjust the octave range, you can see these keys are marked as empty. From here, I can open GarageBand's loop browser, find a loop I want to assign to a particular musical typing key, and just drag and drop it in there. That loop will now play back when I hit the key it's assigned to. And that's how you turn GarageBand's musical typing feature into a down and dirty sampler. Now, I know arrangement markers doesn't sound like the most exciting feature in the world, but using them correctly can actually make your life a whole lot easier. So in a nutshell, you can add arrangement markers through a project to create different sections like verse and chorus, and then even move these sections in the track area to rearrange your project. You can add the arrangement track to your project by clicking on Track in the toolbar and selecting Show Arrangement Track. You can then add different sections to your arrangement track by hitting the plus icon here. So when you're setting this up, the first arrangement marker begins at the start of the project, and each additional arrangement marker you add starts at the end of the previous one with no space in between. You'll get the most use out of these arrangement markers if you add them to every section of your project, so that you can rearrange the entire project as and when you need. Arrangement markers are 8 bars long by default. You can resize them by hovering over the edge of a marker until the resize icon appears, and then just drag and drop to the size that you want. You can also rename your markers to reflect its place in the project.
Though I'm sure it'll come to me.
A bonus tip here for you if, like me, you cannot stand the sound of GarageBand's default metronome sound, click on GarageBand in the toolbar, and select Preferences from the menu. Click on the metronome tab, and from here you can adjust the tone and volume of the metronome. Alright, if you want even more in-depth GarageBand knowledge bombs, then click right here for more. Take care of yourself. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.